Flippa Mafia, dancehall artist, could put him in whatever class you want to put him as. But Flippa Mafia or Muggler was known to throw money in the crowd. On Jamaican soil, he had a big house, he had a Porsche Cayenne, which most reggae dancehall artists could not afford on the highest level. The only type of artist could afford these was like the Sean Paul or the Beanie or the, you know what I mean? I wouldn't even say Bounty, but anyways, Flippa Mafia was one of the extravagant dancehall artists there is. Now, Flippa Mafia is facing charges of trafficking the white lady again. Now, when I say again, because he was once charged with this same charge and he served 9 years in prison, right? On a kingpin charge at that, and he came out, and 4 years later, now he's in federal custody facing a new set of charges. Now, let's do some critical thinking on the whole Flippa Mafia situation, all right? Flippa Mafia at one point got deported from America, and he tried to re-enter America from Bahamas in a boat. Somehow he got into America, right? That's established, that's documented. I'm not making this to get views. Now, while in America, he started doing his juggling, doing his business and such, you know what I mean? Because Flippa Mafia in the dancehall space was known to throw money in the crowd. He had a Porsche, the big house and everything. Flippa Mafia was affording things the average Jamaican artist could not afford. Even the average Jamaican, the average rapper, the average country, like the average artist in general could not afford these things. So in Jamaica, the diaspora itself, we already knew Flippa Mafia was doing things that, or Flippa Muggler, or whatever you want to call him, that he was doing things that weren't in the legal sense. We all knew this. It's not a secret. You know what I'm saying? I'm not making this up. When he got arrested for this first kingpin charges through the American mailing system, trafficking the white lady, he got slapped with a kingpin charge. Now, he got sentenced to a long stretch, 20-something years life or something like that. He served 9 years in jail for that. Came out. 4 years later, 2026, he's been arrested for the same charges. Again, another charge of trafficking the white lady. Let me just say this, right? Flippa Mafia has got away with a lot of stuff by Uncle Sam standards. You re-entered America illegally, right? You got caught trafficking such and such. When you got caught, you not only served 9 years, but you also beat your deportation charges. Some people said he was working with Uncle Sam. It could be true, it could be not true. But that was the argument on the street, that he was working with Uncle Sam, because there's no way you could re-enter America illegally, trafficking the white lady, get slapped with a kingpin charges, serve 9 years, and come back out and not be deported. This does not add up. Or maybe he had legal status, but America don't give a toss about your legal status. You serve time in jail for trafficking the white lady, you're getting out of here. So lots of people on the streets in the Jamaican diaspora was saying Flippa Mafia was working with Uncle Sam. There's no actual evidence of that, but that was the talk on the streets. Ask anyone in Uncle Sam, in the UK, in Canada, that was the talk on the streets from the Jamaican diaspora. I'm telling you this. I'm not asking, I'm telling you this. Now, after being released from ICE custody and after serving his 9-year sentence, right? Forward to 2026, he got slapped with the same narco trafficking charges again, and he came under the same kingpin charges. Now, people are saying, how can you spend 9 years in jail? You already know the situation, you come back out and doing the same type of hustle again. Same type of trafficking the white lady under the American FedEx postal system. So I'm saying, and Flippa Mafia knows that these type of trafficking things are outplayed, they're outdated. Once you get charged with a certain type of charge, that type of method of way you were charged with, that's been investigated. That's actually wiped out, because you know what it is, yeah? People were saying that method has already been used. Now, for you to redo that same exact method in these new charges, let us think that your brain is not actually functioning properly to the new system there is. This is why some people saying this new charges that Flippa Mafia are facing, he has to be working with Uncle Sam for some reason, because there's no way you get away with re-entering America illegally, got a kingpin charge, end up staying in America on probation, and then you get slapped with a second drug trafficking charges. How does this work out? This is not logical. So there's a lot of, I'm trying to do some critical thinking with this whole Flippa Mafia situation, because it's not making sense. But then again, they usually say 60 to 70% of people who actually commit certain crimes, after a while, they do end up going back to prison for that same exact crime. But there's context to this. If you spend up to 4 to 5 years in jail for certain type of crimes, you're 60 to 70% likely to commit that type of crime again, to go back in jail. Yeah, if you spend 4 to 5 years, because when you go in jail, you make links, you make this, and you know people, and you know what I mean. And then again, but that's 4 to 5 years. He served 9 years. So after serving 9 years in jail, chances of you redoing that same crime again, the statistics actually drop to 30% of redoing that same exact crime or similar crime in that nature. And this is why people are saying this is not making any sense, because why would you commit the same exact crime again with the same method of using the American postal system? This is not actually adding up, isn't it? Is it? You get what I'm saying? This is why the diaspora in Canada, UK, and America are saying, nah, Flippa has to be working with the American justice system, because this is not making sense. Okay, Flippa is a man love the limelight. Yes, that's true. The limelight is a drug. Limelight is a drug. That goes without question. We all know this. And maybe he's trying to regain back that, but to be doing the same criminal activity again is not adding up. But new development has said that one of his co-defenders flipped on him, and they've been watching the Flippa Mafia for the last 8 months or something like that. But in my head, I'm thinking to myself, nah, Flippa can't be that stupid. America will wait up to a year before they sink when the feds come in. The feds have a 90% conviction rate, because when the feds have a 90% conviction rate, that means they have you on video camera, wiretap, you have people are snitching on you, they have the whole 9 yards on you. So this is why they have a 90% conviction rate, because they dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's. So the Flippa Mafia situation is a strange one. Now he's 47, and he's gonna serve the remainder of the 25 years plus these new charges, because he was on parole when these new charges came about. And these paroles in America go from at least up to 10 years on a kingpin charge if he got released early. So they're not sneezing, Uncle Sam. And you're allowed to stay there as well. That's what I'm saying. This is not adding up. You're allowed to stay in Uncle Sam after a kingpin charge after serving 9 years. People are saying that, oh yeah, he called a few names here and there, and that's why he got out early. Big Meech and those guys serve a good 20 odd years or some 18 odd, something like that. You know what I mean? And Flippa Mafia got a kingpin charge himself and serve 9. A lot of people don't get that in America. In Uncle Sam, a kingpin charge and you serve 9. What? You got off light, my friend. So this is why the whole Flippa Mafia thing is not really adding up per se. You know, it's not adding up. It's not. I don't see why would Flippa, I know the limelight is a drug. The limelight is a drug, whatever you want to call it. I get it. But after serving 9 years, the percentage of you recommitting that particular crime is 30%. If it's 4 to 5 years, 60 to 70% of recommitting that particular crime and end up going back to jail in Uncle Sam. After serving 9 years on certain type of charges, you don't really want to go back in a cell with a whole bunch of man, you know. So this is the Flippa Mafia situation. It's quite confused. Maybe he's that stupid to be just committing and say, you know what, I could eat a quick food with them boy. You know what? Let me just do a 1-2 move and ray. But the way I see it, the 1-2 move, he probably alerted the feds and said, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna do a 1-2 move, and just put my name. You know what I mean? And then I don't know. It's just not adding up. Why would you do that? I'm trying to work out. If you do working with the feds, right, and said, feds, these people are doing this and that, and you know what I mean, and put my name out there and said that I'm arrested as well, such and such, that would be more logical. For you to serve 9 years and then try and do the same exact hustle again and then get slapped with a kingpin, this is not making any sense. Let me take a shot. This is not making any sense. The whole Flippa Mafia thing is not making any sense to me per se. I'm trying to rationalize it out, but if he is that stupid, you know what I'm saying? Dog, name me a supper. So I'm trying to understand this. I'm not getting it. I'm literally not getting it. You serve 9 years in jail to come out to try to push weight again? It's like I'm hearing about Big Meech and them man, they come out of jail after 18, 20 odd years and then try and do the same thing again. Nah, that's not happening with them man. Flippa Mafia come out of jail, you do a little business here and there, yeah, you know what I mean, you do a little juggling and that, but why, and you're on parole, why in God's name would you, it's not adding up. I'm trying to work this out. One of his co-defendants flipped on him and said, okay, well yeah, Flippa Mafia was doing this and that, blah, 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 and they were on him for that 9 odd months. I'm trying to understand this. It's not making sense to me. Me and the diaspora, when I talk to a few people in Canada, because I'm in the UK, when in America as well. Like, I got a couple heads on that in New Jersey and New York, and that they're saying this not making sense. A lot of them are saying Flippa has been working with the system. That's logical to me. You've been working with the system. That's logical. Come in and say, oh, the bomb buckler, you can't come out of jail after 9 years and I go do back the same thing again. How you work that out? Yeah, the statistics say, like, if someone serve up to 8 to 10 years in jail, the likelihood of them recommitting that offense will which is like what, 30%, end up going back to jail for that same offense. Well, similar because the same links that they had, that blah blah blah. But it's like Flippa Mafia is like, you're like, why would, like, you already know the things said. Try a different type of hustle, try a different type of move. If it was tax evasion or money laundering, certain things I would understand, but the same type of white lady juggling again, you know what I mean? Nah, man. Maybe he is that stupid. Cause Uncle Sam not take check. No, Flippa Mafia, what, 47, something like that, 47. Him now see daylight again until him the next 20 years, say 40, 50, 60, 67, and then after 60, them are dip him. When they get dip at Jamaica at 60 a day, what you gonna do down there? What you really are gonna do down at Jamaica right now is them age there when they get dip. May I try to work it out? It don't make no sense. This is what I'm saying. Like, why would you do this? I know if you get caught, you're at least gonna serve 20. You're at 15, but this is a second. You violate your parole and do this. You at least slap, because I'm at least slapping 20 on you. At least, you know that. So you're 47 or 67, you're at least gonna serve 20. And it's just, and you violate your parole. I'm trying to make it make sense. I'm trying to make the maths, but the maths is not maths in. I'm trying to make the maths up, but the maths is not maths in with Flippa Mafia. I think he is working with the system or something, because I'm literally squeezing my brain like, this is Uncle Sam. Them man, they have surveillance, bro. You get me? Them man ain't the joke thing, brother. Them man, they have surveillance, bro. This is not Jamaica we can pay some hungry belly police and no, bro. So I'm trying to, it's a weird case. I'm trying to do critical thinking of this. Maybe he is that stupid. Just, you know what, we can make a quick food off for them, boy. You know, just drop this over this and drop. I'm gonna just get my 200 grand. I'm good. I'm not involved. No, but no, Flippa Mafia knows the system, no American system, no other justice system. Don't think for a minute he doesn't know. Maybe he is that stupid, but he can't be that stupid not to know how American justice system works. People that do not live in America know Uncle Sam. When you get caught for something, them man, they slap at least 15 years on top of you. Even if you are rob a store or something like that, you know a good chance, them man, they will slap at least 10 pounds. Just to rob a store, at least 10, and you come out in a 7 or 8, just at least. And him come out in a 9 on a kingpin charge and avoid deportation from ICE in a Donald Trump era. It's not adding up. It's not. I'm trying to make it make sense, but it's not adding up. Why would you do that? The maths is not maths. It's not like Flippa don't know. You know. I understand the stats say likelihood of you committing certain offenses depending on the lifestyle that you used to live. But you've been out for 4 years, my guy. Why would you do certain things to end up back in jail unless you was working with the system? Think a bigger loophole on how certain things get moved. That's the only way I could see it. I can't see anything else. I literally can't. I actually think he's working with these people, with Uncle Sam. I actually think that because it's not making sense. I get served, a kingpin charge. I served 9 years from that kingpin charge. Kingpin charge which up to 20 odd years, brother. Big Meech and them man they had to serve at least what 18 odd years or something like. Them man they, kingpin charge is not a joke, brother. And when you get released early and then you didn't even get deported, he's working with them. Flippa Mafia is working with the system. If he's not dag him supper. If he's not Uncle Sam not take, you know that man. I don't have to tell you that. People in Jamaica know Uncle Sam don't take check. People that haven't even traveled to America in Jamaica right now know Uncle Sam don't take check. People outside Jamaica in UK, America, we all know Uncle Sam don't take check when them a slap prison sentence upon people. We know that. We're not for going out, but we know that. Them man in a take check. So why would you do that unless you're working with them? It's the only logical reasoning. Well, Flippa Mafia think he might gotta get more money and go Jamaica and throw money into the crowd like he used to do back in the day. But man, I don't understand this. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because I don't want to see Flippa Mafia serving at least 20 years, but it looks like. But his co-defendant flipped on him and said, and according to the reports, they've been following Flippa Mafia for the last 9 odd months. So they've been trailing him. They had wiretap on him, conversation-wise. This phone thing that you see the thing with the phone thing, and that's what I'm saying. Flippa Mafia knows, like, the phone is a no-no. He knows this. This is why it is not making sense. Flippa Mafia know the phone is a no-no. You don't talk on phone, bro. Flippa Mafia knows this. That's what I'm saying. He has to be working with them. He has to be. Because it's not making sense. I'm trying to work. It's literally not making sense. Someone should have to explain this to me. How? But you know, it's a weird one. It's a weird one because I don't think Flippa Mafia is that stupid. I don't. Maybe he is that stupid, but I can't see. Maybe because I'm basing it off of me, per se, and the general diaspora of people that I've met that from the Caribbean who do certain things, and once they got free and able to remain in the country and continue work, or they got deported and end up coming back in the country and living a normal life, such and would not dare do that shit again. Because there's a lot of people that made a few mistakes, do the juggling here and there. You know what I mean? Come on, I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? Everyone knows this. Someone come out England, someone come out America, someone come out Canada, do a couple juggling, get away scotch-free, someone get caught, get a second chance, and they would not dare do that again in their wildest dreams. So I'm basing it off like the Caribbean people that I've known. I know a couple of men from Trinidad. I've got always scotch-free, and they tell me like, brother, I would not do that again. The system gave me a second chance because I had a couple of kills in pleaded to the judge, and I said, judge, you will never be disappointed if you give me a second chance. I know a lot of men tell me them stories. Like loads of men right now tell me, bro, I've been in this country for what, like 30 odd years, and I'm surprised that they let me out, and I've been on the street and all since then. A lot of men get caught with drugs, guns here and there, and not all of them get a second chance. Let's be clear, not all. A handful of people got a second chance, and those handful of people that remain in these countries, like UK and that talk, like I've had a conversation with them, they were like, bro, and since then I've never done any, not even a speeding ticket, because them man just waiting for you to fuck up. You know what I mean? So not even a spliff, them man they were born. So for Flippa Mafia to get a second chance, remember you re-entered America illegally, and then when you get you got a kingpin charge and you beat ICE and you come out early. But a lot of people are saying he has to be working with the system because no man is that lucky. No black man is that lucky in a them system, yeah? Which black man? America own black people not lucky like that. The normal American man doing certain things, he's not even that lucky, much less Flippa Mafia. The normal American citizen was born and grown in America, Uncle Sam, he's not even that lucky. Forget them type of break there. Forget them type of charges, second chances what Flippa have. Much less for him to go and do this again. This is what I'm saying. Like he has to be working with them. That's the only logical reason. That's the only thing that makes sense. He has to be working with them. I can't believe I don't think Flippa is that stupid. I don't believe it. I can't. Maybe he is, but. Maybe, well, you know what I mean? Every issue their own, but I don't think he's that stupid. There's food conversation, there's, brother, you see the phone thing, them man they tap you left, right. He knows, Flippa knows them man they watch him, them man they tap him for a long time. Them man Flippa can't be that stupid. You think them man they now tap your phone? You can't tell me this right now. Them man they there for, Regine, them man they know, them man they tap your phone a long time, bro. You know this and me know. Everybody know this. People in Jamaica know them man they tap your phone already. And them man they never, people in Jamaica never left Jamaica, no Uncle Sam tap phone. And them man they never left the island, much less people will live outside. Yo, that's what I'm saying. He has to be working with them. That's the only logical way that's the only thing well, you know what I mean? But this is check the reasoning anyway. This is my two takes on this shit. You know what I mean? The whole Flippa Mafia situation, though. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've been around for a while. I've been traveling, working. You know the thing go when you're in them country, when you're in Canada, UK, money we say. See me I deal with? Yeah, man. And although to my Trinidad people, what going on, boy? Are you gonna see me again real soon, yeah? But anyways, you don't know this.